informal. Thank you very much for, of course, starting this circle. So I wanted to thank Naazish first because she took the lead, but of course you people got together and you started this. Concept behind this, we'll keep discussing that. But I wanted her to come in and then start, but it doesn't matter. So we'll start. What I'll do is I'll put up what on the website. Let me just take you people through that. And then we have some OPS. Okay, Nazish is here now. She's on time now, almost. So let's say hi to her first, and then we get into the website. Yes, dear professor, is she there? Yes, dear professor, we are waiting for you. We were waiting for you, but we went online. But we can't hear you. That's the only little
There was
issue.
some network issue. I just solved it.
Good. And yes, Nazish, you want to unmute yourself? Say hi to us.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's fine now. Hi, how are you?
Good, good. We waited for some time before going online, but I thought normally my events start on time, so I said let's go.
I actually was trying the networks. There are very poor networks here, and I'm trying to bring the dean as well, but she has no network. She is trying to get in, but
Because what I didn't do, Nazish, is I didn't put your picture on the post. Your picture should have gone there also, as the person taking the lead, as the person launching the circle. That's what
no, I'm not doing. The kids are doing everything.
I know that was the thought, but I think with you are going to be the consistent factor as we go along. These kids will come in, go. Let's not call them kids. Actually, they won't like it. But our students will come in and they'll go. But you'll there to continue the process. Of course, all these people will hand over to the freshers, and then take it from there.
Definitely.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting up the basic information which is on my website. Of course, people can watch it there, but let me put it out because I think a lot of people here haven't really been part of the earlier discussions. So mediatorvikram.com, you'll find the information. So this is what we are launching, the Jamia Hamdard Sulah Circle. And World Mediation Circle is a web of circles. So there is the Global College Mediation Circle, India, and of course the world. So various circles will of course work within themselves. You'll have various colleges around the world. And I said you should become the model college and then take this forward in other colleges around the world as to your experience, because concept will remain the same, structure I think will remain the same, but there might be specific things which might come up in different parts of the world. And so we'll get that together. So that becomes the Global College Mediation Circle, and then the India Mediation Circle, because you people are not just going to be in your college, you're also going to be in your communities, in your families. So you have to take that culture into those places within the country, and then you take it to the world everywhere. So you're all part of the global community, and we were just talking about how this online world and how I feel this is for all of us really important, because mediation is something which you don't have to be in this one country and do it for someone else. If that someone trusts you in another part of the world, let them bring someone in. So that is what, of course, connecting to me, all that is here. So World Mediation Circle, what is that? So I call this the resolution revolution, because for various reasons, well, we'll get into that as we go along. But the idea being we are looking at it from a different perspective as to how we have to resolve conflicts, disputes. So the World-Wide-Web of Mediation Circles, I've put a definition there: voluntary and informal process through which people in dispute attempt to reach an amicable settlement of the dispute with the assistance of a trusted person or persons lacking the authority to impose a solution. So important being voluntary and informal, they get in a third person and they trust that person. The trust factor is the important one that I've been trying to highlight, because look, this structure of this definition has been taken from the Singapore Convention. But Singapore Convention, that's a convention where for international commercial disputes, that's for that. But at least first time there was a definition available to us, which was also available we had the conciliation rules earlier, but we had a definition, but I tweaked it. I said they did not have voluntary and informal there. I did that because for me that is important. For their reason is because they were looking at mediation from the court system and everything, where things are not so voluntary and informal. And the other thing, trusted, wasn't there because sometimes people appoint mediators for other people, like these institutions and other things. But I'm saying let's not go there, because if you don't trust the person, the process is not going to be something which is which you'll be happy with. And we want people to have a good user experience. So what we are doing, we'll talk about it. So moral values, principles, and ethics-based humanistic approach to dispute resolution, where heart, soul, spirituality play an important role. So the human touch, and because tomorrow I'm launching the artificial intelligence mediation circle, which
And what is that? Sorry, if I may ask.
look, the idea was that here we keep talking about training, which you heard me. I'm totally against this concept that we'll make a mediator in a 40-hour factory and all. If you can program a person, then you can program a machine. So we need millions of mediators out there. So we have Chat GPT today. So Chat GPT by itself can actually act as a mediator. Just go today. We have that access. You go to Chat GPT and say, now you are a mediator between Naazish and Isra. So please take us through the process. So it'll take you through the process. So, and then it'll ask you, okay, maybe talk to you separately, one separately, the other separately, find out your issues, and then even suggest solutions. So we have, everyone in the world has access to someone. I'm calling it someone, okay? It's intelligence. It's artificial intelligence, maybe artificial, maybe intelligent, something intelligent, because it has access to so much content in relation to dispute resolution and otherwise in relation to mediation specifically. There's so much content on everything on the internet is picked up. So it's all available to it. So why not then let the machine do it? If the human touch is in there, and that is not required, humanistic approach is not required, heart, soul, spirituality is not required, then get the machine in, because people need someone to come to help them. And today, as a community, as a society, as countries, as on a global level, how we progressed is that those individuals who could actually assist you were sidelined. Communities got destroyed. And of course, colonization has a role to play in it also. They got divide and rule. That was their policy. If they did not do that, how do they create? I mean, how do you rule? We were at that time maybe about, I think, 300 million. 300 million were ruled by some 5,000 bureaucrats. So how do you do that? Create divide between communities. So communities got destroyed. Those individuals, of course, we developed as maybe a materialistic society as we went along. So you were not respecting wisdom. You were respecting money. So what we are trying to bring out is those people who are there, who have the wisdom. They're all there. I mean, it's not that they disappeared, that wisdom doesn't disappear, but valuing them disappeared. So we're going to value them, which is what we are starting from, Jamia Hamdard. What did we say? We're going to ask everyone that basic question: who helps you resolve your dispute or fight or misunderstanding, whatever words, I mean, how serious it is, or how every conflict is important to everyone. I don't say every conflict has to be resolved, may not be able to resolve, because we have conflicts of all kinds. We have conflicts of value systems. I can't. I mean, I can't compromise on it that someone is a liar or a thief and say, okay, you can steal for 3 days of the week, but don't steal for 4 days of the week. There's no compromise. You just stop stealing. That's how simple it is. So certain conflicts, yeah. So that's the artificial intelligence thing, which you can actually, in terms of what people call training, which I say skill development, you can actually go to Chat GPT, say, create a training manual for mediation.
Correct. I actually did that yesterday. Something I was creating and it was there.
Exactly. So we have everything. Exactly.
It was for the first time I tried. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, what I also say is that the fact that the Chat GPT is actually giving you from best in the world. So you're not limited only to a few people, because even in India, when I see that the discussion on mediation did not expand too much. It's very limited to the court system and people there. And really, most of the time don't say it's not really mediation, it's settlement conferences, because this aspect of what I said about definition and the humanistic approach and all, there are mediators who will have it, but largely the user experience is not that. So we are creating a totally environment, grassroots level onwards. So that will exist because, first of all, there are vested interests on that side, because training is my money-making racket. So obviously they have to be out there and say that is, when a class distinction is created, saying that the trained mediator is a mediator, the other people who are actually doing the mediations, they are not mediators because they're not trained. 40 hours is suddenly going to change someone's whole thing. Yes.
Precisely, this is exactly what I also face. So I just asked one of my fellow colleagues, he's a lawyer. I just asked, how do you become a mediator? He said, you have to complete that 40-hour training. Without that, you won't be able to do it. Now, that is like, why? This is something, I've done my degree of law. If you need that, that's also one thing. And just like you said, you need to have that mindset and that inclination there, right?
Absolutely.
To resolve that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've also, I mean, of course, now there are more than 650 videos out there, so everyone won't be able to watch all of them. But I've had this discussion that people talk about lawyers being mediators. Now, law is a lawyer is someone who has knowledge and maybe expertise on the law. Very nice. That we need those people. If that whole mediation requires that. But a mediation can require various specialists. So this is a specialist in law. Supposing you have a construction dispute, a civil engineer might be required. So you bring in that expertise. An architect might be required. You bring in that expertise. So law is an expertise and you bring in when you want. What has happened is that lawyers have controlled mediation in some countries. So the US lawyers control it. So it's settlement conferences which happen, which lawyers control, and mediators are not really, I mean, don't have that kind of a, I would say, let's say they're not valued maybe enough, or some of them are, but largely people who want to even practice as mediators on their own and have a whole practice only of mediation can't do it. Even in the US, where there's 40, 50 years of, I'm saying, organized mediation. So it hasn't worked. So I've had lots of these discussions. It started with that first symposium of mine on mediation in our culture and traditions, and I like to boast 97 speakers, 45 countries, and every country we discussed this aspect of it, how mediation did not take off. So I went into each of those aspects, why it didn't take off. Then I had all these events based on each of those topics. So it's all there on the website, but there's so much there so that you'll have people, please spend time a little bit. They're all links to everything, but we have all that. So the artificial intelligence, we have the, as we call, training, which I don't like the word because you don't train someone to be a mediator. It's something that comes within. But we need, it's not just what I will just go through this World Mediation Circle. So it's mediators, peacemakers, and participants. We need all three. So some of them might need maybe, let's call it training for the moment, but training on certain different aspects. So it's not on being a mediator only, but actually it could be maybe how they communicate with each other. So non-violent communication is one thing. So go there and find out. There are lots of things you'll find there. So let's not let people get into this, sell this concept to even college students. I know college students who got into this. Oh, we'll become international mediator, and they got so disillusioned after it. And I mean, I had to convince. For there was one person, I had to convince that person. No, okay, we'll find some way that you, because the passion is there, but on the other time, this whole dream is sold. There's an article that I had actually put out in a post. Someone in the UK has spoken about it, how UK, this situation is there. All these institutions are selling this concept to people, but things are not happening the way. Even in that first symposium, I'm saying this, there was a very senior mediator from the UK. 18,000 certified mediators, 500 have worked. So you sold the concept to the other 17,500, and imagine how much money they make, and it's a lot of very expensive. It's like sometimes, I mean, 4,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds for that whole session, which is about 4-5 lakh rupees. I mean, come off it. It's like, okay, you started me off, Naazish, on a very, on a topic which I'll go on to this part. So basically, what we are doing is we are creating safe spaces for conversations, dialogue, collaboration, and consensus building without activism or advocacy. So that is another area which will exist. Yes, Naazish. Please.
So, like before, I just briefed my students and everybody who's a part of this group about this. I already had a discussion with them that they today are definitely going to share their experiences and whatever they think about this mediation thing and what is their experience. I just told them that even if in your family someday you had seen your parents fight, or someday you had resolved some dispute in your family or anywhere. So I think my students will be able to share something today. They are excited enough to share their experiences.
So you feel that I'm taking too much time now. I should get them in. But give me 2 minutes.
No,
Give me
sir,
2
no, sir.
minutes.
Sir, we can start once you tell
2 minutes.
one by
Why I
one.
want to put, look, why I wanted to put this out was that this is the larger vision that we are working on, and then we'll go down to how we are going to get the process going, because both of them are important. Grassroots activity, but where are we going? because there is that larger picture. So this aspect of how that consensus building and everything comes in is because this whole group of people, I'm saying a community within Jamia Hamdard is being created. Whoever feels that they want to resolve disputes amicably in a collaborative manner comes into the circle. So we are bringing everyone in. Now, this community doesn't just have a role to play as to, okay, you have a dispute, come here, we will, there will be a mediator that you can choose. No, you as a community have a role to play within the college, but not just in the college, even outside. You can actually be a space where issues, local, national issues, global issues are discussed in an objective manner. We want people to have conversations and dialogue, not, because like I said, this divide and rule thing that has happened around the world, we have to bridge it. So how do you bridge it? People don't come together and they have conversations to understand each other. We try to understand each other and then move forward. So you have a role to play there also. So that's the larger thing. And of course, these are circles being created in schools, colleges, organizations, communities, but also issue based. There is global climate change mediation circle, which has come up, refugee mediation circle. So we have all that. So we have three categories: the mediator, who has the skill to actually help and sit together with people and resolve things; peacemaker, to bring people together. That's very important skill. Someone was here who said he worked with Sama, and what work they did, we'll find out. But the fact is that bringing people together is also a skill. And then we have the participants who have that mindset. Yes, we want to, I call that the mediation mindset, want to come together to, and everyone doesn't have to be a mediator and peacemaker, but can have the will to, even if they don't have a dispute today, but just the fact that they want to resolve disputes in an amicable manner. If you have that concept, we're bringing everyone in. So this is not just an individual dispute related, okay, you have a dispute, come resolve, get out. No, to come together, we are a community. So that kind of feeling. So of course, this is of course for the World Mediation Circle. You are circulating a form for the Jamia Hamdard Mediation Circle, and lots of mediation circles have been created. So that's a whole list out there we can be looked at. And then we have all the events which have happened. For each year, you'll have one section. So this is 2023, so 22, 21. Lots of links, lots of shows. And this is where now you people come in. Yes, Naazish, it's all yours. What are the questions? Where are the suggestions? Please.
No. It's absolutely yours. You are going to be the moderator of this team. Now you have to ask my students whatever you want to know from them and their opinions and views.
Yeah. So
the mic is yours.
So okay. So the way we are first is, how do we organize this circle? So I said, like, there's just that question goes out, and the people who we're asking all the things. One, have you resolved someone's dispute, or do people trust you to do that? One question goes there. Do people who have you bring people together? Someone who brings people together, so that, okay, sit together, resolve. I don't have to be sitting there and doing it, but you can do it yourself. So that is also important. People don't have to get in a third person. They can resolve things on their own. So someone to bring them together. And of course, you have that mindset to do. So that question goes out. You get those people together, and then whatever specific disputes they have, we'll make on the Yasin is creating a website. So we'll start putting their names on that website. What I said was, let's get a little video clip of someone who has had an experience of helping someone resolve something, and the people who have benefited. Whoever wants to record it, we can't force anyone to record that experience. So let's put that little message out there on the website. Yes, Yasin, can be done. So little clip next to it. This is the person, this is a picture, this is the video connected to this person.
Yes, sir, we can do it. Yes, sir, we can do it.
Yeah, so that will really help, because people will actually be able to now, in some way at least, say, okay, there's a face. There's a face to a mediator. There is a face to a peacemaker. What the mediator does, what the peacemaker does, we'll put it down there. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and of course, the larger community. Look, Atman is not from Jamia Hamdard. Atman is actually in Morocco. So, and this link has gone out for various events. So he's seen this and come. Hi, Atman.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you? Look,
Fine.
this is a college in Delhi, India, where we are creating this circle. And You have to do something in Morocco also. We're waiting for that to happen, right? So what we're doing, let me take them through this and I'll get you in later. So,
Okay.
yeah. So we have this little the website created. So we have people, actual names and little clips there. So that's how we go on. Now, further questions. Are you guys going to raise your hands, or each of you have to come in? Just the fact that you've come
So
in, you
we
have
can
to.
start from like as it is given alphabetical wise.
Well,
Like
that'll be
first
very
it's
difficult. Okay, chalo. You want me to do that? No problem. So
yes, sir. So first it's yeah.
Abul Fazal. Where's Abul Fazal? Because everyone hasn't put their video on. That's now Abul Fazal has. So yes,
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 sir.
Abul. Abul,
So,
suggestions, comments,
so like,
clarification.
why I want to be a mediator? Like, sir, becoming a mediator is a great way to help resolve conflicts and bring value to society, as well as in the college campus, which happens nowadays in between the students. Sir, as a mediator, you can improve communication between people, helping to clear up disputes, misunderstandings. And in addition, working as a mediator offers the opportunity to develop professionally and gain a wide range of skills that I can use in my personal and professional life.
But that's interesting. What you're saying about the professional life by itself, this can be an area of practice that you can start on day one.
Yes, sir.
Not why day
Yes,
one, today. I mean, in the sense, not even after graduating. So this
yes,
is an
sir.
area of practice available to you. And when I said within the college, of course, you people are maybe not going to charge each other for, maybe, I don't know how you're going to do it. That's up to you. Whether yeah, I'm going to help you. Okay, maybe I don't know how it's going to happen. Yeah, that's up to you. Take me for a coffee or whatever. That could be that way also. But let's value the mediators because they're providing valuable
Yes,
service. Same thing with the peacemakers. How you have to do it, I'm not going to say. I feel everyone should be paid for their service because they're providing very important service. So that you sit together, we'll work that out. Whether there should be a payment in cash or payment in kind, we can work that out. But important thing is in some way value them, because if you don't
yes,
value them, I just feel that it doesn't get highlighted. Yes, this person provides a service professionally also. Then you can
yes,
actually within your communities, families, start talking about it. And if you yourself can do it, or within the community, you will identify those people who have the mindset, which could be elderly people within the community. You can be participating in mediations with them. So you're actually learning from their experience also.
yes,
And when you graduate as a lawyer also, as lawyers, I want you to have that mindset that someone comes to you and has a dispute. Let's try and get the other person and try to resolve it right there, because litigation has not been the answer. We can see that. With 5 crore cases lying in courts,
yes,
and the kind of situation that, look, it might be very good for lawyers. It's a pension scheme. One matter comes and now pension scheme, but that's not the kind of lawyers we want to send out. That's not the kind of lawyers Naazish wants to send out. She wants to send out those people who want to actually help them resolve things, not take them through litigation for 20 years. Yes, Nazish?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's the kind of people we are to. But that's a good thought. Yes, that it's an important activity. So then Ahmad. Ahmad, yes, our Instagram hero. I am Ahmad Ali. Yes.
Hello, sir. So, how are you?
Good. What are your thoughts about it? And also in relation, like you put your Instagram profile there. In terms of social media, how do we use social media to take it forward? Those thoughts also.
So, I was coming on to that. First of all, we have to establish the trust factor in it, and social media platforms can be one of the catalyst. It can act as a catalyst to boost the trust factor into the Sulah circle. So by way of social media, it can reach to other people as well. So bringing the trust factor is very important in the circle. So that is one of the suggestion which is very key, which is very pivotal in this process.
And that the trust comes from identifying the right people. When you get the right people in, and everyone, people who benefited from whatever role they've played. The trust comes in because someone has actually trusted them and the process and benefited from it. So what has happened globally, which is going back to this training thing, is that anyone came in, okay, we'll make you a mediator. And I've always said that no one other than the people in dispute can make a mediator, and they can make anyone a mediator. So it's their trust in whoever it is. So they are the only ones who make mediators, no one else. So the right people did not come out, and because of that the process did not happen well, and because of that the user experience is not good, and if the user experience is not good, it doesn't get carried forward because people are not going to talk about it. So instead we are going to start from totally on the other side, identifying the right people and talking about user experience. Okay, this was a good user experience that this person had, and that's how the trust factor comes in, because you'll be putting out clips on your Instagram profile, and other people will do it. Yes, this little clip goes out, this actually happened in our college, and then of course in the communities and all, you take it there. So trust in the process will come, and then trust in those individuals will come, and they will be available, their contact details will be available, that okay, you can directly contact this person. Yes, Ahmad, sounds good.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay, so we have now, this is all on record. We are going to catch you later. Have you done this something on this or not? So we are going to catch everyone. Everyone's going to have
Yes,
to
definitely.
contribute.
I'm there to push them.
Yes, yes, Aisha.
Hello, so am I audible?
Yes.
So basically, if I'll talk about a mediator, so in today's day, when we are talking about any kind of dispute or conflict, people were very scared to go to court because of the long process of litigation and something like that. But now mediation and mediators are actually an alternative solution for them. They can trust that person and they can actually prevent them from going to these long procedure of the litigation and from the courts. So I think it's the best thing, like, in the field of law. And some of the people were not aware of this mediation thing. Like if I'm talking about in my circle, so when I actually share my opinion about mediation, so many of the people were actually don't know about this, that what is actually mediation is, and they don't know about that. So basically, according to me, so there is a lack of information outside the people who are not from the these law faculties or law students.
And look, again, I'm going back to that particular symposium of mine. Why it's important is because this was, each of those things that you are talking about is the things that I saw. So the theme of that symposium basically was that people are not familiar with the word, but they're familiar with the process, because it is the process which has over, I mean, this is, maybe, I don't know, because we don't have a record of what was happening in communities thousands years back, but they've always been people hundreds of years back. We know that people were helping people resolve disputes. So it's all happening, families, communities, everywhere. It was just that process, for some people, have created very technical rocket science thing around it. Oh, mediation, and because someone's going to come in as a mediator. It is not rocket science. It's happening. But right now, of course, everyone, each of you are also going to tell me about people that you have maybe helped, or someone else has helped someone resolve something, because we have mediators in this, on this Zoom call also. So we have them, they're doing it. So that also has to come out today itself. The peacemakers, the mediators have to come out here itself. So that's going to happen. Ahmad he's the mediator. Yes, Ahmad.
Sir, what I feel is we need a basic training session on how to mediate things, because there has to be some guidelines or some specific thing which we have to act upon. We don't have any blueprint, or how do we gonna act and how do we gonna mediate things. It's our first time. So like I feel that we need some sort of trainings onto
Okay.
this.
And I'm on the other side, Ahmad. I'm on the other
So you
side,
are
that actually it is not new. There are people here itself who have been mediators between their friends, could be between their friends. Concept is the same. Why actually you don't need that training as such, But we have enough content available on my channel itself. Otherwise, we'll have sessions, skill development sessions also. We'll do that.
I agree with you. The main dispute I am raising here is we need a sort of blueprint so that we could become more perfect into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the main objective here.
So we'll do it two
So
ways. One is through certain skill development programs, but other way is best way to learn from me, according to me, is by experience. So when this goes out and the mediators itself are available and actually one experience of resolving something with someone else in an amicable manner teaches you everything. So the mindset has to be there that yes, first of all, you're willing to open up to this. If you have an adversarial look, will also exist. There will be people who will say, "No, I'm going to fight. I do not want to sit with someone." That there will be people like that. We'll bring them in slowly. But first is the people who have the mindset. Yes, we can sit together and resolve things. So those people, you will see that aspect. You will find. I mean, of course, you are looking at it as you go along. You feel that there is something more technical to it. Maybe that's what you think, that yes, you need more teaching or maybe training in that aspect. Don't don't worry, we'll do that, but I'm just saying, don't think of it as technical. What is it? Someone coming in and having a conversation with people in dispute, understanding them real interest in the matter. Sometimes there's the outer thing, there is the inner thing. So to even tell one individual that this is the way you should actually go through the process is actually not fair, because that is not the only way to do it. Every individual is unique, every dispute is unique. So the combination of that dispute and that person coming in might be the most unique thing in the world. Might be, because there's lots more happening. It's the individual, the way their way of conducting themselves, their attitudes and everything. So it's some people just can have the skill to be able to go beyond what they see and to bring out things from people. So people have that skill, and that has to be experienced by other people. This is what I was saying, that that experiencing of that has not maybe happened in families and communities also. So people might not have grown up seeing it around them, which was something which was there in maybe in families and communities there are still there. I'm not going to say that it's not gone out totally, but largely we moved away into the adversarial system. So we have to actually see it happening. So if you were growing up and you had seen some family dispute, and and your family brought in someone whom they trusted, and you saw this happening in front of you, that would have been your learning experience. So that learning experience has now gone away. So now you're looking at some other way that we can even experience it and learn from it. I want you to learn from actual things, because trainings, what happens is there is role playing happening. This is not a role playing activity. You have to see actual disputes being resolved. That's when you really learn. So we'll do that. I understand your issues. This is not your issue only. This is something which is quite common, which whenever mediation gets discussed, there seems to be people feel that, oh, we don't know about it. Someone has to tell us about it. It's the technical aspect of it. All those things, it happens. But actually, it's a simple thing for people who actually have the skill. It's simple. They know how to do it. They're doing it. So developing it with experiencing it, all that will happen. So we'll take you. Don't worry. We're just starting off. We'll go through the entire thing. So Arshia, oh, one thing before that, Aisha, you said alternative. I really feel that, is it really an alternative? It has to be an alternative to something. Is
It's a
litigation an option also? If that was an option, then this could have been an alternative. For
it's
us
a
today, yeah.
Is it like in India, like I'm talking about, maybe it is an option or it is a career for like in other country, but in India, it's still it is not prevalent if we compare it to a litigation or some other law, like law occupation. So on that sense, I'm saying. And so one more thing, like in mediation also, you have to like as one of the student is also said that you have to build a trust, you have to build that unbiasedness to the other parties, to the respective parties who are in mediation, because maybe if any one party find out that the mediator is somehow biased, so it also creates some kind of trust issues there.
Well, let me tell you, actually, when someone trusts someone, when people trust a person as their mediator, actually these issues don't come up because there might be, in terms of biases, we talk about biases, but if you look into it, everyone does have biases in some way or the other. The people do have their biases, but those biases should not come up in relation to you assisting someone. So we are talking about people with that mindset, so that these things don't come up. Because you might feel that whenever you're talking to people, you might think, oh no, I do kind of maybe lean towards this part. It can happen, but it should not in any way affect the process. So we have to, I mean, this is again, we'll discuss it as we go along. We'll have those discussions on these specific areas. So don't worry about that. When the trust factor comes in, all these things get handled and get sorted out. So I was talking about the alternative is because we are going to, you people will have the responsibility, I would say, to actually go down to villages also, to actually see and identify those people who are there already. So it's happening. We won't say it's not happening. It's just that in the formal structured aspect of it, maybe that part of it is not happening as much, but within communities and all, it's there, it's still there, but we'll have to just go in and dig a little deeper into what's really happening, identifying the right people. But important thing is we have to differentiate between those people who are imposing a solution and those people who are assisting but leaving the final solution to those people in dispute. So that's also really important, because if someone in some way forces someone to accept their solution, that's not mediation. We have to be very clear about it, because then otherwise we'll give people the wrong idea. So it's I don't like to use the word here, but I will use it for you people: arbitration. Because people sometimes, why I don't use that word is sometimes whenever you say mediation, the arbitration word comes out. So we have to distinguish between that. Even in communities, again, arbitration is a technical word, but in communities for hundreds of years, there have been people who have taken decisions for them. Even there is a discussion that happens on the panchayat, that panchayat does mediation. No, panchayat actually gives decision. In our movies, we have panchayat ka faisla. Faisla is a decision given, and everyone, even in the village, says faisla. So those are connections which are made. Even the Supreme Court has a mediation training manual. In that also, they tried to connect mediation and panchayat. Are going to be given the wrong impression to people in villages, because I had a discussion with some teachers in Bihar on this aspect. So it started off because someone had gone there and did a little training, as we call it, and spoken to them about mediation and connected it to the panchayat. And they were confused because, well, panchayat gives decisions and actually thrashes people to implement those decisions. So is there someone else now who's going to come in and do that to us? We don't want that person. So we have to be clear on distinguishing that someone else taking a decision for you and someone just assisting you, and the solution is yours. So it's all happening. And of course, option that as an option we are moving towards that being the primary option. Primary option, according to me, is getting people together and let them sit together and do it. So that should be the first thing we have to do. And then if they need some assistance with the third person, then mediation comes in. Yes, Daruna is, of course, has been part of has sat around in some sessions. So yes, Daruna.
Hello. If I talk about mediation as per my experience, suppose one aggrieved party comes to seek help. The thing which I have realized is that you cannot just go like that. I have been approached by this party, so I'll solve the problem, keeping in mind her grief. You'll have to understand both the parties. You'll have to understand the hostility which have arisen. You'll have to keep yourself with their background, both of the parties, and you'll have to make the best out of it. And I think mediation does the justice to the saying that law is not about white and black. It's about the grayer part. So we know that in most of the dispute, both the parties have some faults, and I think mediation is the best option in that, because in mediation we understand both the problem, and it's not just the mediator who understand that, it's also the aggrieved party. the exposure is given, that we also understand what other party is also suffering from. Unlike in litigation, we are thinking that I am right and the other party is wrong. It's not here. So I think it's already a win-win situation. And I think it is as per me, it is the best option. Like in litigation, you fight for a case for 20 30 years, and when you get the nyay, you're already a old soul and in a old body, and who has already made peace with that grief. Somewhat, if we have already made peace with that grief, so it's not a benefit. And in mediation, we can do that. Mediation is a fast process, and I think it's the best option, which I find that there is no grief left. You have made peace with each other. You have got the best possible solution. So I think that's the best thing we can think about.
Yeah. That's why I was saying that even in that, when I've written down about the World Mediation Circle, you read it's about healing and even
Yeah.
strengthening relationships. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. But that's what the idea is, that let's reach that level. It's not just about someone just resolving the dispute. Let them go back, because chances are those people will be interacting with each other as they go along life, and they should be able to strengthen that relationship. And it actually happens that way.
Yeah.
So yes. So then what do we have? Look, if the other thing is that Naazish, the language for our Sulah circle can be anything, because Atman is here. Atman actually participated. He has spoken in French. He's done his sessions in French, and I had called someone for doing the translation. So language will not be an issue here. Any language, whatever you're comfortable with. Atman was, of course, is
You want?
comfortable. No, I was telling.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes, Vikram.
No, I was telling.
I can try firstly in English, and after, if I have problems, I can speak French.
But
Okay.
you will come later. You will come later. Now I was telling these students that language is
Yeah.
not an issue on my shows. It's never been an issue. Whatever
Okay,
language you're
okay.
comfortable, because ideas, whatever language you're comfortable with, idea communication, language is only for communication. So whatever language you are comfortable with, the better ideas come out, because you are now not struggling in saying that, okay, I have to translate from this and then talk about it. So any language is acceptable. Okay, only thing is we need someone for translation. So French today we might not have a person for translation. Arabic also we will not. Spanish, Italian, we don't have those people. But otherwise in my shows I have someone or the other. So someone starts speaking Spanish, there's someone to help them, because I've really felt that even people, I've had this with Gabriela is there in Ecuador. I've had her sessions recorded in English and in Spanish. So you'll find that on my channel, Gabriela Balseca, and you'll see the difference in the person itself. She's a different person when she speaks in Spanish and a different person when she speaks in English. So language is only for our communication purposes. So Sulah circle, and please, in all our meetings and everything, please use a language which you are comfortable with. English is given to us by the colonizer. It okay, we've spoken in it, and it's not. It's not bad that we've connected around the country on one language. It's not a bad thing, but if it in any way restricts the communication of ideas, we should not at any way feel that, oh, English is the language to speak to. But that's totally out. Totally, we have to. So please, as you go along, anyone, any language you're comfortable with. Language is not something which is that should decide what the ideas are better if they're expressed in English. No, ideas are ideas, should be expressed in the language. So, Faria. Yes, Faria is here.
Hello, sir. Good evening. So, sir, I have a question that what are the real challenges a person can face as being a mediator?
The challenge is, the first challenge is to get people to mediate. that is the first challenge. So once we get over that, then the process starts. So that's actually a challenge. Seriously, I'm telling you, once it comes into the mediation process and the people trust that person, things are okay. They'll flow the way they have to flow. So getting the people for mediation is somewhat a challenge. That's why we have the peacemakers. These are the people who are going to get people into the mediation. So that's one. What are the challenges? Tell me, what kind of challenges are you thinking about? Look, if the person who has the skill will take take people through the process, the right person doing the mediation, there's no challenge, because there can be complex issues. Some complex issues, if there might be someone who can't help them resolve it, bring in someone else. And like I said, this is not just about you in your college. You're going to take this into your families and communities. Bring in someone else if there's a challenge in relation to your need not being able to assist them, because it is individual to individual situation. And there are things that everyone in relation to communication with people maybe it cannot manage. There's no issue. Your main thing is, do you have the intent to help them resolve something? If the intent is there, you'll find ways. And of course, you have the skill also. That's a skill. So it's not something that everyone has. So, and you people know those people who have those skills. So we'll identify them. We'll talk to them. You'll talk to them, and you'll, if they're able to discuss their whatever issues they've resolved, challenges won't come in. That's my thought. We'll see if they're challenges, we'll handle them. So, Isra, yes, alphabetically you're here now.
Yes, sir. Sir, I don't have a lot of things to say, as a lot of things have been discussed already. So, how about we move forward to other people who have been
Wow,
waiting
Isra,
since
wow, you
long?
want to put it on to everyone. Okay, not a problem. Because I tell you why, my problem is that Yasin comes right at the end, and then everyone has already. So why should a person suffer because they're alphabetically there are why? That was my issue. What I do in my shows is
So, sir,
whoever comes
how about we go down, like straight down now?
No, no, now we are already there. But what I'm doing in my shows, what I've done is whoever comes in first should get the first chance because the person came on time. So what happens is that the videos that I see are actually in the order that people came in. But if someone switches off their video, switches it off again, he goes back into the list at the back.
Yes, sir.
So I know
Yes,
who's come
that's
in
the thing.
first that way. But we've taken your suggestion. We are going alphabetically. We'll get everyone in. So don't worry.
So we have been heard. We give everyone a chance.
Yeah, let's say that everyone's thoughts come in, and then we'll either ask people who those mediators are within themselves, or if they are themselves mediators. So Adnan's here now. Yes, Adnan.
I actually wanted to ask you this, that there is a very critical situation in mediation. Like you said, people need our faith in mediation. But if we talk to people who know us from before, then they have faith on us. But don't you think that creates a little bias?
In what sense? Please give me some
Like,
example. Take an example.
let's take an example. Like Isra knows me from before, and Yasin knows me from before, and these two people have an issue with Aisha. Let's take Aisha for an example. So Aisha doesn't know me from before, and I am a mediator, and Isra and Yasin know me from before. So won't Aisha think that it is kind of creating a little bias
Yeah, so
on
then
her part?
if she doesn't trust you to be a mediator, she won't be the mediator for them. That's what I'm saying. That the people have to trust the person. So if they think if Aisha thinks that you will not be the right person, you should not, and she herself will say that you're not the mediator. So trust
Yes, sir.
factor.
So exactly how to build that trust.
Building trust, actually what happens, of course, we are talking about the college, so you have interacted with each other maybe for if you're in the third year, so 3 years, or maybe fourth year, 4 years. So your conduct over that time has been noticed by everyone. Your interaction with people has been noticed by people. You don't realize that, but people are watching each other in every interaction. Even it could be a social media post, maybe you participated in something, you organized something. Everyone is at all points of time noticing every aspect of you. Based on that, they trust. There one conversation you had with someone on some issue, it was heard by someone. That it's all, look, we have this quantum computer up here. Everything is put in there subconsciously also. So when the output has to come out as to who should be someone I can trust, that computer processes that and gives it to the person. So Aisha is not going to trust you if your conduct has not been such where you have shown that you cannot be a fair person. She doesn't think that you can be a mediator. That's going to happen that way. But if over the way you've gone about with your friends, maybe she'll ask someone, what do you think about Adnan? Because I need some help because Yasin and Isra are troubling me in some way. So I need someone's help. So yeah, Isra, first of all, you don't trouble people, okay? They should not need a mediator. Why? So that's how.
Bad example, my bad.
Yeah. So building trust means that you as an individual should be someone in the way you can conduct yourself in life. It should be a manner where you should be trustworthy. So it's not building trust by being a false person. Being yourself, your authentic self, that is what should be trusted by people. So
That's how we win trust.
yeah, and people know that. I mean, look,
Professionalism.
that's their issue. They wanted to resolve. They know who that person is. So, but sometimes it is not identified as okay, this person exists because everyone doesn't see people resolving things. So that's why we're putting it out. We're getting people there. So now, whom do we have? Salah, Mohammad Salah. Yes. Can I? He's not there. Any unmuting happening?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Salah. Any thoughts, comments, suggestions?
Sir. So I just joined 5 minutes earlier, so I was just catching up with
No
things.
problem. No problem. No problem. Whenever you want to say something, you can always put your hand up and let's. So
Okay,
Priyanka,
sir.
Priyanka. We can't hear you. There might be some, but maybe you haven't, in terms of the audio, not connected to whichever mic you're using. Just check it out. We can come back. Come back. So Saad is next. Saad.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. Are you going to put your
Sir,
video on also, or
hello.
it's going to be only
Yes,
audio?
sir. Wait. Okay. Is it visible now? I think.
Because why we need the video on is because today artificial intelligence is such that we don't even know we are talking to human beings or computers. So,
Okay.
yes, Saad.
So my question is that can you share just some successful stories of the mediation which played a significant role in the
Look,
resolving
what I'll
dispute?
do is I'll share something which was because it was very complex and high value commercial. Is important because it had everything. It's like Sholay. It's a Sholay of mediation for me.
Mhm.
That whole litigation going on for 14 years. Okay. They had gone into arbitration. There was an arbitral award. Arbitral award challenged in the High Court. So imagine what's been happening. So litigation, not something that you can count on. Arbitration, you can't count on because arbitral awards are also challenged and lying in courts for years. So all that, a few million dollars at stake. And at the end of it, of course, the matter got resolved. It was actually a prime property in Mumbai. That was prime property, and the thing got is resolved. The good part was that relationship also was such that I mean now you could see the difference. I can't show it the recording, but I actually recorded their signing of the settlement agreement. So just to show that how the atmosphere changes and how suddenly, I mean, the way they connect to each other. So it's really, you see every aspect of it in that. So, like I said, Sholay of mediation. So, lots of these things you will, I mean, these are things to be experienced. I mean, even someone like I'm saying this to you and you are listening to me, okay, maybe something like that happened, but actually being part of it and seeing these changes happening. But it's not that it's going to, it's these processes, these complex things don't happen in a day or two. Some people talk about, if you see this whole organized mediation, they will talk about same day in so many hours. No, things take time because these are complex things. 14 years is not a short time. People have got entrenched in their positions. So now you have to take them out of arguing their case to trying to understand each other and to see a solution which works for both of them. So it's an involved process. But I'm giving you that example because it's you should know that there are complex things which also get resolved with mediation. But you should also look at the simpler as things. I mean, let's not say simple. Anyone having an issue with someone is not a simple thing for them. It's part of their lives. So, but experiencing it will be something that you really have to. I mean, actually, like I said, experiencing it by itself changes your thought process towards dispute resolution and how you interact with people. But Saad, are you going to come in as a mediator, peacemaker, or as a participant? How are you coming in?
Sir, I think I will come as a peacemaker.
Very good. So you can bring people together. So imagine, look,
Yes,
people,
sir.
the people have identified, they know themselves. So that's what I'm saying. Each of you are going to identify yourselves, put it in, rename yourself, and say what are you going to be: mediator, peacemaker, or participant. But first, let's get Priyanka in. Yes, Priyanka.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible.
या तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सारे पॉइंट्स ऑलमोस्ट सब कवर हो ही गए हैं, आप सबने भी कर दिया है. सो आई एम जस्ट एडिंग कि जैसे सर ने बताया कि ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए, ये क्रूशियल पॉइंट है व्हेन यू बिकम अ मीडिएटर. तो आपको ट्रस्ट डेवलप करना पड़ेगा पार्टीज के अंदर, दैट यू आर नॉट बायस्ड एंड यू आर नॉट फेवरिंग एनी पार्टी. ठीक है. एंड फर्स्ट सेकंड थिंग कि आपको एक ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा कि जिसमें पार्टीज जो हैं अपनी जो भी थॉट्स हैं, अपने जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, वो आपको विदाउट एनी हेजिटेशन आपके साथ शेयर कर सकें. एंड आपको फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कॉन्फिडेंशियल होना पड़ेगा अपनी इंफॉर्मेशंस को लेके, जो भी आपकी पार्टीज आपको देती हैं. तो यू हैव टू बी रिमेन कॉन्फिडेंशियल अबाउट देयर इंफॉर्मेशन, because I think it's a primary duty to when you become a mediator to be आपका आप confidential रहें. तो आई थिंक सब मेरी तरफ से इतना ही है. थैंक यू.
देखो, ऑफ कोर्स ट्रस्ट, फिर से हम ट्रस्ट पे जाएंगे. ट्रस्ट होगा तो अपने आप ये एस्पेक्ट्स कवर्ड तो होंगे. बट कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी ऐसी चीज है, देखो, एक तो है प्रोसेस कॉन्फिडेंशियल है, तो ये पूरा प्रोसेस जो जहाँ जब भी हो रहा है वो कॉन्फिडेंशियल है. पर विद इन द मीडिएशन क्या होता है कि कुछ चीजें आप किसी को बताते हो, मगर वो बातें वो दूसरे को बता सकता है. वो भी ऐसा, अगर आप बोलो ये किसको नहीं बताना तो नहीं बताना, पर अगर उस प्रोसेस में बताने की जरूरत है तो वो चीज दूसरे साइड को बता सकते हो. मतलब आपकी पार्टी वर्ड नहीं यूज करता. पार्टी मैंने वैसे पार्टिसिपेंट्स इसलिए वर्ड यूज किया क्योंकि पार्टी वर्ड आया ही लिटिगेशन से. ये पार्टी है, वो पार्टी, वन अगेंस्ट दी अदर, तो वहां से शुरुआत ही वहां से हो गई. फिर तो एक दूसरे से लड़ाई कर रहे हैं. हम कह रहे हैं हम लोग इस तरफ हैं, प्रॉब्लम उधर है, हम सब साथ मिलके उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. ये नहीं है कि हम दूसरों दोनों एक साइड में. तो ये पार्टी वर्ड हम लोग हटा देंगे. अपनी जितनी भी कम्युनिकेशन होगी हम पार्टीज नहीं यूज करेंगे, हम पार्टिसिपेंट्स यूज करेंगे. क्योंकि फीलिंग जो आनी चाहिए ना, एक पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन द प्रोसेस फीलिंग आनी चाहिए, वन अगेंस्ट द अदर फीलिंग नहीं आनी चाहिए. ठीक है. तो हमारा इस तरीके से वर्ड रिलेटेड, क्योंकि वर्ड प्ले जो होता है ना, वर्ड से भी बहुत फर्क पड़ जाता है. आपका अपना उस प्रोसेस के ऊपर सोचना कि यार ये तो पार्टी बनी हुई है तो मतलब मैं इसके अगेंस्ट किसी तरीके से लड़ाई कर रहा हूँ या कुछ कर रहा हूँ. नहीं, हम सब साथ हैं, हम सब साथ हैं. वो कोई गाना नहीं होता, हम सब साथ हैं, ऐसा कुछ, ऐसा सब एक बजा देंगे बीच में पीछे. तो कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी तो ऐसी चीज है. एक तो ट्रस्ट फैक्टर जो है, दूसरी जो मीडिएटर के ऊपर तो अपने आप वैसे ही है कि कॉन्फिडेंशियली रखेंगे. कुछ चीजें जो मैं चाहती हूँ कि कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखें, और कुछ चीजें जरूरत पड़ेगी कि हाँ बताने की, तो वो बताएंगे. वो ऑफ कोर्स स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल अभी नहीं देंगे, वो बाद में डिस्कस कर लेंगे. वो यहाँ से एग्जांपल निकल आएंगे. आप देखना जब हम बात करेंगे ना कि ऐसा कोई ऐसा इशू हुआ, किसी ने हेल्प किया रिजॉल्व करने के लिए, तो उन्हीं में वो आपके पास पूरा का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर सब कुछ आ जाएगा. ठीक. तो 7 का हो गया. सफिया सफिया
सर
हो गया कि नहीं?
हेलो.
यस यासिन.
हेलो
यस.
सर, गुड इवनिंग.
हाँ, हाय सफिया. एक सेकंड, यासिन
हेलो
कुछ कह रहा था. यस यासिन,
ओके सर.
बोलो बोलो, कुछ कह रहे थे.
यस सर. सर एक्चुअली प्रियंका दी ने जो बोला मैटर ऑफ ट्रस्ट के बारे में, बट हमारे जिंदगी में कोई ना कोई एक पर्सन ऐसा होता है जो हम पे भरोसा तो करता ही है. और रही बात कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी की, तो बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स रिलेशनशिप में सब कहीं ना कहीं इन्वॉल्व रहते ही है. तो उनके बात इधर से उधर आप नहीं करते हो ना, तो कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी की तो आपको पता है कैसे रखना है. और ट्रस्ट
को पता है कौन इधर से उधर बात करते हैं, तो उनको वैसे ही नहीं ट्रस्ट करेंगे. वो पता
यस
होता है,
सर.
सब कह रहे हो यहाँ पे कॉलेज वगैरह में
Sir,
सबको
no, sir, we
हिस्ट्री पता
don't
है,
know a lot of times ki who is the person like spreading about.
तो दूसरा
So
बताएगा ना.
sometimes you trust someone and then the person like breaks your trust.
तो इधर हाँ, चलो वो तो चलो, we will we have some, these are issues which are going to be there, but the important thing is that हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, we are asking people about those people. तो उनके यूजर एक्सपीरियंस अच्छे रहे हैं तो वो शेयर कर रहे हैं. तो हमें पता है एक किस्म से एक स्टैम्प ऑफ, एक इंडोर्समेंट जो होता है ना, एक इंडोर्समेंट आती है, हाँ यार ये जना मतलब हम कैरेक्टर रेफरेंसेस वगैरह नहीं लेते लोगों से, तो यही होता है कि किसी ने बताया। पर अभी सफिया की टर्न है। सफिया, सफिया, यस सफिया।
Yes, sir. So I would like to ask that what are the key skills required to grow as a good mediator? So like a few people out there, they are so rigid that they are so reluctant to come into a conclusion. So like how to convince such people?
तो ये मैं again कह रहा हूँ ना, ये तो एक इनहेरेंट स्किल है। अब इसके स्पेसिफिक ऑफ कोर्स हर सबके लिए तो सेम चीज होती नहीं है। बट मैं मतलब एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड मीडिएशन हो रही है जहाँ पे आपको बोलेंगे कि एक्टिव लिसनिंग, ऐसे वर्ड्स यूज होंगे। मैं उससे बियॉन्ड जा रहा हूँ। मैं कह रहा हूँ एक कनेक्शन बनता है, विच इज द कनेक्शन ऑफ द हार्ट सोल वाला। वो जो एक एनर्जी लेके आता है वो मीडिएटर, वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स प्रोसेस में जाते हैं, जो कि हमारे पास उसके ना एक्चुअली उसके शब्द भी नहीं होंगे। आपको आपके दोस्तों के बीच में, मतलब आप पता नहीं सफिया अपने एग्जांपल दो, अपने दोस्तों के एग्जांपल दो। कोई आपके दोस्तों में ऐसा जना है जिसको आप सोचते हो कि अगर मेरे को इशू होगा तो मैं इसको इससे बात करूंगी, या बात करूंगा, कोई और जना हो जिससे मैं बात करूंगी? ऐसा कोई जना है आपके?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
क्यों है वो जना? उससे आप ऐसा क्यों सोचते हो कि ये जने से
सर
मैं बात
उससे
करूंगी?
बॉन्ड उस टाइप का स्ट्रांग होता है.
बॉन्ड, बॉन्ड वर्ड यूज किया ना आपने। ये बॉन्ड क्या होता है? कनेक्शन होती है ना कहीं। कैसे होती है वो हमें तो नहीं पता, वो कैसे कनेक्शन बॉन्ड बनता कैसे? कोई ये तो है नहीं कि फेविकॉल है जोड़ दिया। कुछ बॉन्ड बनता है ना, ये कोई पर्सनल
जैसे
कनेक्शन होता है।
कम्युनिकेशन.
क्या होता है वो हमें पता ही नहीं होता। ये चीज इंडिविजुअल्स के बीच में क्या हो रहा है, वो बॉन्डिंग क्यों हो रही है, बहुत मतलब जब हमको या तो वेट करना पड़ेगा साइंस का कि उसको वर्ड दे जो हमको जरूरत नहीं करने की। जैसे मैं कहता हूँ ना कि न्यूटन ने हमें बोल दिया कि इसको ग्रेविटी कहते हैं, मगर सेब तो गिर रहे थे ना, वो जिंदगी भर से गिर रहे थे। सेम थिंग, बॉन्ड जिंदगी भर से चल रहे हैं, हमें वर्ड्स नहीं चाहिए। और एक पर्सनल कनेक्शन है। तो वो भी एक एस्पेक्ट होता है उस मीडिएटर का, जो कि क्यों होता है। मैं इस वर्ड स्पिरिचुअलिटी यूज करता हूँ। स्पिरिचुअलिटी रिमूव फ्रॉम रिलीजन। रिलीजन एक अलग चीज है, स्पिरिचुअलिटी एक अलग चीज है। स्पिरिचुअलिटी एक अपने जो एक, सोचो मैं एनर्जी वर्ड यूज कर रहा हूँ, एक एनर्जी होती है एक इंडिविजुअल का अपना एक ऐसा पर्सन, एक ग्रोथ होती है। क्या होता है, क्या लेके आता है उस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में, हमें नहीं पता। तो आपको वो लोग पता है, लोगों को पता है वो लोग कौन से हैं। तो जब वो लोग इन्वॉल्व होंगे अपने आप प्रोसेस में, अब जैसे वो कह रहे थे कि चैलेंजेस क्या होते हैं, वो सब कोई चैलेंजेस वगैरह कुछ नहीं होंगे, वो सब अपने आप फ्लो करेगा। मेरा पता नहीं आपके क्वेश्चन का आंसर मिला कि नहीं, मिला कुछ आंसर?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
यस यस मत बोलना है, क्योंकि बोलना है कि एक्चुअली बोलना नहीं समझ में आया मेरे को। अब आप इधर उधर ऐसा बोल रहे हो, ऐसा बोल देना
No,
कभी
sir.
भी।
I'm satisfied by your
गुड,
answer.
गुड, गुड, गुड। नाजिश शी सेटिस्फाइड, ओके, मैंने ठीक आंसर दिया, मैं कोई गलत नहीं बोल रहा हूँ। तो श्वेत इज कमिंग इन। श्वेत प्लीज।
Yeah, hello.
जी।
Hello, sir.
हेलो।
Actually, I want to comment on the question which was asked by one of the attendees that what are the challenges one could face in the mediation? Sir, I believe that the answer could be navigation challenges because, like, such as dealing with resistance parties or like managing emotionally charged situations. So these are the integral part of the mediation, as well as in the life of a law student. These are integral parts. Additionally, sir, I believe like each challenge which we face like it presents an opportunity for personal and professional growth. So over the time, like we have to develop resilience, adaptability, and a deeper understanding of the complexities like which are inherited in conflicted situation or resolutions. What's your take on it?
तो आपने इमोशनली चार्ज बोला, नाउ इन रिलेशन टू इमोशनली चार्ज अगेन, व्हाई सम पीपल आर एबल टू काम सम पीपल डाउन एंड सम पीपल आर कांट? कुछ इनहेरेंट स्किल होगी, क्या रीजन है उनको हमें हो सकता है, मगर वर्ड्स ही नहीं है उसके लिए। तो इमोशनली चार्ज सिचुएशंस होती हैं, एंड जिसके पास वो स्किल होता है, और क्यों होता है वो, क्या उसमें एनर्जी लेके आता है, क्या होता है। मगर कुछ लोगों को काम कर सकते हो ना, देयर आर सम पीपल हु कैन काम पीपल डाउन व्हेन बहुत हीटेड सिचुएशन। कोई देखा है सिचुएशन, कोई हैव यू सीन सम सिचुएशन लाइक दैट, बड़ी हीटेड चल रही है एंड समवन केम इन एंड सडनली थिंग्स गॉट हैंडल्ड? हुआ ऐसा कहीं?
Yes, sir. Like last year when I was doing my internship, so the mediator came from Supreme Court. He was an advocate, and there was like so many heated arguments were between the husband and wife, and just he just came and just like whole the Zoom setup was just silence. So I'd seen that.
या सिर्फ ये कि वो साइलेंस शुड नॉट बी बेस्ड ऑन फियर। Should not be based on fear. It should be based on someone individual, that the connection that comes into that situation. कभी कभी fear भी तो silence कर देता है. So, but here वो concept नहीं है. Here everyone has to be able to speak, be able to be comfortable, be themselves. वो important चीज है. So to bring in that kind of an energy where it is not imposing, but still that individual brings in something to be able to get people down to a level where they can actually communicate. तो skill है, इनहेरेंट क्वालिटीज हैं, क्या है वो तो सबके ऊपर अपना, मतलब वो ना वर्ड्स में जाना ही नहीं है. वो टेक्निकल होता है ना, वो वर्ड्स में घुस जाते हैं कि ये क्यों है क्या है. सो लेट्स नॉट गेट इनटू दैट. इट्स जस्ट सम पीपल हैव दैट क्वालिटी. बट आई टोल्ड एवरीवन, प्लीज राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ योर नेम्स. क्या हो, मीडिएटर, पीस मेकर, पार्टिसिपेंट, प्लीज लिख दो यार अपने नाम के सामने. व्हाट यू थिंक, देन वील आस्क अदर पीपल इफ दे अग्री विद दैट और नॉट. सो उकबा. Yes, Uqba. We can't hear you. Right. Can't hear you. I think you'll have to. I think it's basically choosing the right audio channel. उससे होता है. Urusa, where's Urusa? I can't see Urusa. Urusa, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, according to me, mediation is a process of resolving conflicts, and that also like informal, in an informal and according to a healthy conversation in a comfortable environment. But you already mentioned that Chat GPT, nowadays Chat GPT also acts as a mediator. But I think that a mediator should be a real person, because human sentiments cannot be understood by AI, and also AI is taking over the world anyway. So why to let a thing control us which we only made? And also like cannot have an informal conversation with an AI just because the conversations are already structured. That's the question. And also a mediator is a person who has this conflict resolving theories like inherently, and also that person learns from his life lessons. But in AI, what you get is just a formatted answer to a question which you just ask.
That's another discussion. We'll have that tomorrow. The point is that we are fed a lot of information as we grow up. We hear a lot of things, and based on that, our responses are there. So these are in a way programmed responses. Now, the other side, of course, is the human part of it. We'll come to that. But there was one session I had in my last World Mediators conference on empathy. So someone said, how to show empathy. And she had this thing, okay, if this happens, you do this. I said, that's a programmed thing. You don't show empathy, you feel it. It has to come from within. Then compassion and all those things, which is what the human aspect of it that you're talking about. But actually, what this person was trying to do is actually program you. If this is the situation, this is your response. So that the machine can do better because it has so many more things that it can pick up. So when it is we are programming people in trainings, which is what I have this issue with the training. If you're programming them and telling them this is the way you should respond to this, that's why I don't like to do that. Because you have, Urusa has a unique person. She has her way of responding and how she connects to someone, which is where the human aspect comes in. I can't program you to be someone. You, in a way, have you been programmed? We will discuss that also. Have you really been programmed to be who you are? Are your responses such that you know when to respond to something because you've been programmed to do it, or at every situation it's a unique response based on how you connect to someone on a human to human level? So we have to discuss those things, yes, but certain things are, like, again, use the word experienced again, you are experienced within people. So they, when they connect to you on a human to human level, we feel that we are connected on a human level. So they will find those responses in you, and they will know that these responses come from within, from the way your compassion towards them. So that's when, yes, that difference can come in. But largely, I'm saying that people are told that in this situation you have to do this, which is back to what who was saying that, that question about, who was it? Whatever, that whole question about trainings. I'm saying that why do I need to train you to be a human being? Because as a human being, your response should be such that you can connect to people, understand people. Shouldn't it be like that? But if you are not that kind of person who has that, So in that sense, your quality I'm talking about the mediator or the peacemaker will be shown to people. They will know that yes, whether they can connect with you on a human level, do they want that connection? If they just want a resolution where through ChatGPT a structured approach can come in. So it's not, I mean, let's not look at it as just a machine doing something. It is got a lot of information on responses of various kinds. It's got all that. I don't want to discount it. I don't want to discount it because people in this world don't have a person to contact. You have an issue with someone, you don't know whom to contact. Maybe you don't know those people, those mediators, which we are trying to put out as in your college also as mediators and peacemakers. A lot of people might not know those people. So whom do they go to? So at least they have a first responder. And two people, if they can have someone who's available, and this way all your concept of biases and all that come in. So maybe that machine doesn't have biases, but on the other side, the discussion is, do machines also have biases? Or does artificial intelligence, is it biased based on the inputs? In the entire world, all the content that is there, is it in some way biased towards one side that the machine has picked up? You don't know if the bias is there. Are they there, not there? Complex, Urusa, very complex discussion, which we will do on the artificial intelligence part of it tomorrow. But for this purpose, our purpose today, it is about us getting those people who can have that human connect. And people know those people who bring that aspect of about it. So that's what we are trying to do.
Yes,
This is just a first conversation. We are going to grow as we go along. So it's not something which is. So we have one question answer from Isra. Yes, Isra, please. Why don't you give the answer?
Sir, for like artificial intelligence?
Oh, what you were saying. Uqba, that's a question. That's a question.
Yeah, sir.
That's a question.
Actually, she was facing problems, so I just typed the question there.
What is an alternative solution if someone is not satisfied with suggestion given to them to resolve this? I mean, that is up to them. There are a lot of situations, a lot of alternatives are there. One is, of course, what in the mediation you are saying some suggestion is given, and that suggestion doesn't resolve the dispute. Is that what Uqba? Is that what you're saying? So, what are the alternatives to that? One is maybe you can bring someone else in. Maybe look, every person can't help everyone to resolve things. So, if maybe that person, that mediator might not be the right mediator for you. If, like Adnan was saying, that some aspect of maybe there's someone not trusting him enough, could be. But Uqba, can you hear me? No,
Sir,
she
I
can't.
think she's having some microphone issues, and she just typed she is able to hear you, I guess.
No, she has so we can't hear her. But in terms of alternatives, in relation to, of course, what we have is litigation on the other end. If people have to go there, and because they can't find the right people, let them go. I mean, if we can't create this grassroots movement of bringing people out, then maybe if that is an option for them, we let them do that. If they can't go through ChatGPT first, maybe alternative is also ChatGPT. Let them also try that. Let's see. What we'll do is, I've actually had that. There are sessions which I have had where we've actually online, we've gone to ChatGPT and asked two people, okay, you have a dispute, let's put it out to them. And it's taken us through steps. So we can actually do that. We can do that on a live thing on another session, which we have. We can do it today also. That's not a problem. But we'll see whether it actually helps you or not. Yes. So, Uzma. Oh, yes, Uzma.
Yes, hi, sir.
Hi.
I don't have any question as such, but I just have one doubt. Like, what if a party does not comply with an agreement reached in a mediation?
What if you don't call them parties? What if we call them participants? Every time you say parties, you're going to be fined. Please, Isra, fine her every time. Anyone uses
Okay,
the word
sir.
party. Participant,
I'll be
yes.
finding 500 rupees.
500 rupees every time you say party.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, Uzma, one more time. Your question is, if they're not satisfied with
the agreement reached in a mediation.
So they've reached an agreement and now they don't want to stick to that agreement. Is that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Look, now here we need to go into the law part of it. In the case of your college, in terms of the issues that we are talking about, maybe that law, are we going to use it or not in relation to your getting into a legally binding agreement that whatever we are doing here is under that law. So we don't get into it here right now, but in general, we have a law in relation to mediation. So when you do mediations under that law, that settlement agreement is as good as a court decree. So it can be enforced like a court decree.
So,
Yeah.
as Uzma asked, if like the participants are not agreeing to the mediation, fine. So, like participants, they are, if we sit for a mediation, like with the participants, for example, if Uzma has a problem with Adnan, then I am mediating. So, I come to a solution. Then at the time, they are like, okay, fine, we'll agree to it. But what if they then go back and discuss and then they come to an agreement that no, this is not what we want something else, and we are not going to like listen to them what they're saying. So isn't enforcing not a part of what we are doing?
Look, the thing is that, first of all, I mean, in terms of the mediation process itself, if it is conducted well and is conducted by someone who has the skill, this issue should not come up because it doesn't happen. Once people have resolved something, I mean, in terms of them going back on it, it's a very, very rare thing if the process is conducted properly. But if by through fear or through coercion you make someone agree to something, yes, those are issues. So the process has to be conducted properly, and if the right person is doing it, this issue will not come up. But beyond that, why? Okay, I mean, we have to enlarge it to family situations, community situations. So in the process, what happens is Uzma today agrees to something with Adnan, but she goes back home and she talks to someone, or maybe she talks to some friends, and then she said, no, 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 yeah, you're right, I should not have agreed to this, and say, now I won't agree to it. So which means in the process, Isra, you should have understood that those people have an influencing factor on her. So let's bring them in, or because look, mediations can happen where in the mediation process you can have joint sessions with Uzma and Adnan, but also separately with Uzma and with Adnan. So when you have a session with Uzma, in that case you will be able to understand what are the pressures on her, or who are the people who influence her. So you will say, let's bring them in, let's have a discussion with them also. Adnan doesn't have to be in those discussions. So you will be able to understand, and then Uzma will be able to understand what those people have to say. Based on that, she might have a different solution. So bring everyone in, first, that means you've first been able to understand Uzma. That's the important part. Is that what she's saying right now, and say, okay, okay, that's okay, because she wants to in some way get over the process where Isra has forced her to sit and say, no, no, you must settle this. So no forcing anyone in any way. Always to be able to understand them, dig deeper into them. As we understand them, they might have other reasons, whatever. I mean, look, these are very individual things because each, like I said, every dispute is unique and every individual is unique. That combination is so unique. So to even say that this is how you should do it will be wrong on my part. Because that when we come to that, some issue comes up, we'll discuss it there. So why Mr. Y? Mr. Y is there. Yes, Yasin.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, as you said, you believe that mediation is not an alternative method of resolving disputes. My point of view is also the same. Mediation is the prime method of resolving disputes. For example, I have a property dispute with my brother. I will talk him first. First, what do you want? Why you are doing this, etc. If his answer didn't satisfy me, then I will go to another option, that is litigation and whatever. The primary method is so our primary option is basically a mediation. So it is not an alternative method, what I believe to.
But actually, Yasin, the primary method you just said right now is actually negotiation. Is actually you talking to your brother. You don't need a third person. So that should be a
Yes,
primary method. And
the
if that
third
doesn't
person.
work, and then bring in the third person. So step by step, that is how it should be. So primary should be people to be able to sit together, which is why the peacemaker is important, to bring them
Yes, sir.
together. You don't need to bring in a mediator. can you make them sit together first of all? And that, like I said, is a skill. That's an important skill. In that is also an emotionally charged situation. But in this case, this third person is not interfering in bringing that whole resolution, assisting them, but is actually just saying, sit together. And whenever they can't, whatever way they do it, how what their skill is, still to be able to continue that. But then you see, okay, this is not really happening. We need to bring this third person in. Then we go to mediation. And beyond that,
Yes, sir.
there are other methods of alternative dispute resolution, which I mean, we can go through them, but you'll also find the list with like neutral evaluation is another method. Then in certain like construction disputes, there are dispute resolution boards and there are various forms. Then of course,
Yes, sir.
arbitration is another private court, so it's litigation on a private level. So arbitration, litigation, all that options are there. Look, we can there are lots of alternatives, but are those really alternatives is also what we need to discuss. So Salah.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question was, sir, as you're saying that making them sit together is a difficult part. So, sir, how do we create an effective mediation environment where both the participants are comfortable with communicating with each other?
This is what that whole skill is all about, which is why I'm saying that identifying the right people, they know how to do it. Now, this is an individual situation, individual person, how they handle those two unique people. Because Salah and Yasin are unique people. How you think is unique. So to say that this is the way to deal with every situation is not possible because it's an individual thing. Some Salah's temperament, what Salah understands, how he looks at the world, how he looks at issues. It's so unique to you. And that is where the skill of a mediator, that's why valuing mediators is important because they have the skill to be able to understand that unique situation. And because that is where the human touch comes in, that to be able to come in that unique situation and still connect a bond with Salah and Yasin to for them to first, of course, trust, but also take the process through. So let's not give a blanket kind of thing. This is the way to do it. That's what I like to stay away from, because then it is, oh, this is the way we respond. Then that becomes another artificial intelligence thing. This is the way you should have to respond to this situation. So that's doing a better job to it. Why do we need individuals to do it? So let's keep it as bring the right person in. First, we'll identify those people and you will see that they know how to do that in every unique situation. Yes, Isra.
Sir, I think we should end it here as all the students have been sitting and you are also like
Yeah.
so.
So now only thing, one last time, anyone if you want to say that they are mediators, please, who are the mediators in the group? Who are those people who assist people in resolving their disputes? Good. So Urusa and Yasin, everyone else, of course, they've already got tired with this whole session and they said, when is it going to finish? Okay. So Isra, Yasin and Urusa. Anyone else? So please, the
Sir, I
mediators
want
part
to
of it.
be a mediator.
Want to be or are you one?
Yeah,
Because here we are saying people are mediators. They
yeah, I am.
already good. So we already have people who themselves feel they're mediators. But what we
Yeah.
want is other people to say that yes, Isra is someone who has helped us, is always a mediator. Priyanka is a mediator for us. Now we want to ask other people also. But yes, you feel you can do it perfectly. That's also okay. People will try it. Whether they can trust you or not, that's up to them. So they'll so we have this is what you're doing, Yasin. We're identifying those people.
Yes, sir. I'm identifying everyone.
So maybe that can be a question to be sent out. We'll send it out, all these people who have filled the form. Let's send it out to
Yes, sir.
them, what they feel about themselves as peace mediators, peacemakers, participants, and then let
Yes, sir.
us
Yes, sir.
ask other people about it. So that's our way of. Great.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
we are done. Anyone else? Any last words? Anything? Nothing. Okay. So I'll have a separate conversation with Atman on whatever we are doing. Okay. Adnan, we'll have a conversation.
Okay, sir.
These students have to leave now because they're also tired because they're not used to having such long sessions on this
No,
topic?
sir,
Yes.
actually, our exams are also coming.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So,
and we had some of our juniors had classes as well. So that's why
great.
a little tired.
So best of luck for your exams.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir.
we'll
Thank you,
put it
sir.
together as we go along.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And where is our dear Professor Naazish? Thank you very much. And we'll meet
So
again.
she's still in campus. She has work.
She's a hard-working person. Yes. Yeah.
As I said, our exams are coming, so she has a lot of work to do.
Great. So we'll meet after that, after your exams. We'll, of course, the process we'll be putting together. Thank you, Naazish.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.
Vikram, I hope have a time